Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. It's good to be back. Just got back from vacation. You know, I'm not usually a big vacation goer, but I decided, I'm gonna take this one for myself. Go be with my family. Went to Los Angeles, where the weather was nice. It was cool. A little cloudy, a little sunny here and there. It wasn't too bad, wasn't hot at all, which is always a big plus if you can go to Los Angeles and it not be super hot. God, it's pretty nice. I mean, anywhere really you go, wherever you want to go, a vacation, whatever. If it's not hot, if it's just right, if the weather is perfect, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? As long as the weather is good, it doesn't matter where you are. You're going to have an even better time than you probably would have if it was hot. And we went to a baseball game, went to go see the Dodgers play the Yankees, which I have seen in the past, but, that was like maybe 4 years ago at Dodger Stadium. Went again this time. A lot of Yankees fans there, which was kind of, well, I guess not really super surprising. I mean, they are like one of the most popular baseball teams in the country. Probably have the most fans out of any fan base out there. All have to be Yankees fans. I mean, you got people who aren't even from New York, not even from this country. Just probably just casual fans that just wear that Yankees cap. People wear the Yankee cap just because it looks cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Yankees cap does look extremely cool, but like, you got to remember that they're not just a logo or a brand. They are a sports team, in New York City. Baseball. Some people don't even like baseball. They just wear the hat because it looks cool, which, I understand. I agree. It does look pretty slick. There's nothing more sharper, I think, than the New York Yankees logo. I mean, the Dodgers one, in my opinion, is the best logo of all time. The best logo in baseball for sure. The best uniform in baseball, hands down. But I gotta tell you, I mean, that New York, the NY, and that font on that cap, pretty good. Uniforms are pretty, I think a little old to me, a little outdated, in my opinion. I know they're classic. I know like they're they're a staple of baseball in America. One of the most successful, the most winning franchise, the most winning team in America. I understand that, but the uniform to me is not as clean, I think, as that Dodger uniform. I'll be honest. I know I'm biased, and I know I'm a fan of the Dodgers, but I'm just being truthful that I think that it is the cleanest, the most pristine, the best looking uniform, I think, in Major League Baseball is the Los Angeles Dodgers uniform, 100%. No chance. So went to the game. We left on Friday. Traffic wasn't too bad, thank God. We got there around like maybe 3 o'clock, picked up my little brother, went to get some chow, and we went to the hotel, chilled out for a little bit. The game was at 7, so we left like the hotel like around 5 o'clock, got to the game. Always have to do this, now becoming a ritual, is getting Shake Shack at the ballpark. And I know you're probably thinking like, why would you get a burger at a baseball park? But my friends, Shake Shack is amazing. It is an amazing burger. It is probably one of the better tasting fast food / fast casual burgers that you can get out there today. And I've had In-N-Out, I've had McDonald's, I've had Wendy's, I've had Burger King, I've had Carl's Jr. In my opinion, and I'm a big In-N-Out guy from California. I've been here my entire life. I've known, and I was born and raised on In-N-Out, and I still love it to this day. But I think that Shake Shack has some of the most flavorful burgers, flavorful patties out there. Their fries, their crinkle cut fries are delicious as well. You can't sleep on those. They have these cheesy fries that are they're crinkle cut with some kind of cheesy sauce. Delicious in every way I've had it. I've never had it before the last time had it, which was this past weekend. My brother got it. I'm like, you know what? I've never tried those. Let me get a couple. I tried them, and they're beautiful, amazing, perfect combination. You don't need no chili, no nothing, just the cheesy sauce and those crinkle cut fries. And my God, it was amazing, delicious. I would bathe in that cheesy sauce if I could. I've said this on this podcast. I would bathe in In-N-Out sauce, In-N-Out spread, 100%. I would also bathe in the Shake Shack cheesy fry sauce, 100%. If you tasted it, man, if you were able to see how it tastes and just imagine it, you bathing in it while eating it with like a side of fries next to you, oh, it'd be heaven. I would actually be in heaven at that point. And I'd be like, I don't want to leave this bathtub with this Shake Shack cheesy sauce. I can't leave it. It's calling my name. But to the game, amazing performance by the Dodgers. We won 8-4 on the Friday night game and lost the series, though. The Yankees came back and won the next two games, which is pretty disappointing. But at least when I was there in the stands watching the boys play, we won 8-4, and it was amazing. It was a great time. The next day, we went to the Universal City Walk, and we went to this place, just kind of chilling out before we headed back, up north and dropping off my brother. We went to go to the City Walk and just kind of walk around, chill out, maybe do some shopping, get a bite to eat. And we stumbled upon this new place that was called, I think, like the Chocolate Emporium or something like that. It was like a new place. It was, if you've been to City Walk in Los Angeles, it replaced the Hard Rock Cafe in City Walk. And me personally, I've never been to a Hard Rock Cafe in my life. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people wear their shirts and always thought it was a pretty cool, hip place. But I've never been inside there. I'm not sure if it would have been, if the food was bad or why they shut down there or what happened. I have no idea. It's been a place that's been in business for a long time. I just wonder why, I had never gone in there. I remember back when I was a kid, so many kids back then that would, go to that place would always buy a shirt from there. Like, is it that good that you got to wear their merchandise? Did you win it? Did your parent get it for you? Like, why are you wearing that shirt? It was more than just one kid. It was like a handful of kids. Like, why are you wearing that? Like, I like McDonald's. I'm not wearing a McDonald's shirt because I like McDonald's. I thought it was just so bizarre. So that shut down, and then came this new place called the Chocolate Emporium, which, if you go inside there, the people, the waiters, the waitresses, the bartenders, the people, the bus boys, they're all like in character. You know how you go to, Disneyland and everyone's not just like an employee, but like they're a cast member, they're a character. That, they all dressed up in like this Chocolate Emporium uniform that was, thematic, and it looked kind of like you were in like the Willy Wonka chocolate factory kind of. It was kind of cool. The production value of that place was top notch. If you want to go somewhere where you can get like a little bit of a cool atmosphere of being in a Chocolate Emporium, I recommend Chocolate Emporium Restaurant in City Walk, Los Angeles. We went there, and the waiters are like all jolly and, dressed up and stuff, and they ask you where you're from, and like, they play it up. They're all animated and shit. And it's pretty nice, and, everything was like somewhat like chocolatey themed and flavor. Like, we got these hot wings that were like chocolate induced hot wings that had like some, chocolate sauce on them, and I bit into it, and we had it, and I was like, holy shit, like, this is kind of bizarre and kind of weird, because I expect when I eat a hot wing for it to be hot, spicy hot, flavorly hot, and I got like this sort of like almost like a teriyaki flavor, but like had like an aftertaste of like a very faint chocolate along with chicken. It was interesting. It wasn't bad, but it was like, would I get it again? No. It was nice for the experience of being in the Chocolate Emporium, but like, If I'm never gonna, if I was to come back, I'd probably just order like for an appetizer, just some like fries. They had like some truffle fries too. They were pretty good. I'll be honest. I'm not really sure what truffle is, but it made the fries taste pretty good. And I was like, you know what, truffle ain't bad. I always thought that truffle was like some kind of chocolate. I don't know why, but I always thought it was like some kind of chocolate thing. Turns out it's not. I think it's actually some kind of mushroom or something like that. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I wouldn't say that I would get either of those appetizers again, but, worth the try. Then we got to the entree, and I departed from my loyal ways. Normally, I like to order the spicy chicken sandwich, the chicken sandwich, whatever variant of chicken sandwich they have, I order. It's not at many places, but if it's definitely like a newer place, that's like one of my go-to items, because it's like how hard is it to make a good, decent chicken sandwich? And, I was kind of feeling like, should I get it? Am I going to get mocked by my family because this is what I always get? I was thinking like to myself, you know what? Not today. Since we're in the chocolate emporium, I'm going to try something new. So I decided to get nothing chocolate flavored, but I did end up getting a ribeye steak sandwich. Now, I never really get steaks from restaurants that are not steak houses. I don't particularly like to test a restaurant's steak making capability. For one, because they're not steak houses. Steak is one of the easier things to cook, but it's also an easy item to mess up. Over-season it, overcook it. Maybe it's not the best cut of steak. That's also very important too. When you go shopping at a grocery store and you're looking for a steak, let's say you want a ribeye steak, right? You're going to look for like a really decent looking steak that is appealing, that's got plenty of fat to meat ratio, right? It's not too unfatty, it's not too fatty. It's just in the right range. Perfect size for your liking. And I just don't know if I had that much trust in these non-steakhouse restaurants to get a good cut of steak to serve to me. I'm just not that confident in them. No offense to them. They have to feed a lot of people in a day. A ton of people that probably want the same item as me. What if I don't get the best steak they got, and I get charged for their menu says premium steak, but it might not even be that premium. So I decided to go a little bit safer. I decided to go for the ribeye sandwich, which is, not as risk-taking as getting an actual steak there. I got it. Comes with a side of fries. And I gotta tell you, man, it was actually pretty good. I wasn't expecting a place like the Chocolate Emporium to make a pretty decent steak sandwich. And it was actually really good. It came with like spinach, little tomatoes, some mushrooms, some like, I think it was like maybe like some like Havarti cheese or something like that. It was actually pretty damn decent. And I was actually shocked like how much I enjoyed it. I was like, damn, these guys made an actually good sandwich. And I was like, wow, you know what? Maybe next time I'll actually try the steak, because that little steak sandwich, I mean, it wasn't that little, but like that steak sandwich, not being a full cut ribeye steak, right? Maybe like a sliver of the steak to put into the sandwich. It was actually really good. And I was not disappointed. And I was like, you know what? Chocolate Emporium? Not bad for your first shot. For my first time being there, I was like, not bad. Not bad. Now, I said that we went to the city walk, which is true, we did. We did not go into the park because we kind of got there like at 1 o'clock, just wanted to kind of like walk around before we went back north, heading home. And then, of course, there's going to be stores there, shops, they want you to buy stuff. And, there was a Nintendo land shop, the Super Nintendo land, that is in the actual Universal Studios park. But they have another shop that's in the City Walk for the Nintendo portion of the park. And I was thinking, like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, let's go in there. They're gonna have a bunch of shit. They barely had anything cool, bro. Like, they had like a couple t-shirts, some bags, a popcorn box for you to put your popcorn, some keychains, some little knickknacks, but nothing like really cool that was like, I might pick something up for like some kind of Mario thing, you know? Nothing like that. I'm like, dang. And it was actually like the shop itself had a lot of space, but there wasn't enough stuff occupying that space. So that's like kind of a good and a bad thing. Like, well, for one, I can walk around and not bump into so many people. It's not too cramped and not too crowded. But it's like, where's all the stuff? Where's everything else? And it's like a good tease. You know, they want to tease you so you can buy the overpriced ticket and to go into Nintendo Land in the park. Which, you know, on another day I would have been totally down. But it's like, dang, Universal's got this on tight, bro. Like, they're just teasing you to get into that Nintendo Land. Which I'm pretty sure is like open to the public now. Because before, I think when it opened, it was like a selective people. And I think they went to like reservations for a little bit. But I think like right now, I'm pretty sure that it's open to the public. That you can just kind of walk in and waltz right in and just be like, hey, yo, I want to see some shit. I want to see Nintendo. And just be like, hey, you know, ciao to Mario and Luigi and all these boys and see that shit. You know what kind of freaks me out, though? I'll be honest. I'm not a huge fan of like the mascots that they have walking around the park. I think that they look a little too mascotty, if that's fair. Meaning like their body doesn't look very like animated Nintendo-y cartoony style. It just kind of looks a little too weird. You know how like if you get like if you see like Donald Duck like at Disneyland, he's got like a animated like type body, right? It's not like you can clearly tell it's like a human body with like a human designed Donald Duck suit with Donald Duck's head, right? He's kind of like got his like cartoony, they made like a sculpted suit out of his cartoony form. The one that they use for Mario, Luigi, and Peach are just kind of like normal bodies, but like the heads of the characters. And I saw that and I was like, that looks a little odd. I'll be honest. I'm not like, I'm not like a critique of mascot apparel, but I'm like, that just looks a little too real to me, which I don't like that. I'll be honest. Now, Mario, Luigi, and Peach, I'm pretty sure are the only characters that they have in mascots. Now, I know that they better not do that to like guys like Toad, Shy Guy. Those got to be like big, bulky, expensive looking mascot costumes in order to get the appeal of this as being Super Nintendo Land. You know what I'm saying? And I've also read that it's kind of small there. Like the section of the park that they were able to construct into Nintendo Land is kind of small, which is a little, disappointing because I've been to Universal many, many times. Many, many, many times. And I'll be honest, it's a lot of old stuff there that is still afloat. I mean, they got the Harry Potter land that is pretty lit, and they have like Simpsons area, they have Jurassic area, they got a Mummy ride, a Transformers ride, but all that stuff is kind of ancient if you think about it. Like, Jurassic World just ended. It wasn't that great of a franchise, I'll be honest. The ride itself is alright. Transformers, that ride is ancient to me. And it's not very good. The oldest ride they got there probably is, that area. Or somewhat oldest is Mummy. The Mummy ride is pretty freaking lit, I'll be honest. But it's like that one gem. And it's like, they're like banking like, to retain audiences because they have Harry Potter Land and now they got Mario Land. But Harry Potter and Mario Land, Harry Potter's got like 3 rides. It's a pretty decent size, but I've heard that Mario Land or Nintendo Land is pretty damn small. I just kind of would feel like, man, they got to make that bigger, especially with the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie. That made $1 billion. You would think that, maybe in the future they would expand the space and add more Nintendo Land. But I'll be honest, Universal Studios is kind of built on the side of a mountain. There isn't a whole lot of space that they can just be like, yeah, we'll just expand. We have all this flat land. It ain't like Disneyland or California Adventure where they just got acres of land that just around them. They could buy the farmers and pay them like, hey, we want to take over. Sorry, but here's money. Get the fuck out, right? I don't think they got that kind of luxury space there, which is unfortunate because if they could expand Nintendo Land, man, that would bring in even more people than they could possibly imagine. Because I'll be honest, I've said it already. Those other attractions are kind of ancient. They're kind of outdated, a little old. I'll be honest. The big draw there, whenever I go, always the biggest draw, the biggest place that I've seen, and I haven't been there, I haven't been into the park with Nintendo Land in function, was Harry Potter Land. Harry Potter, whatever it's called, Hogsmeade or whatever the fuck, Hogwarts Castle, whatever that area is always super populated. And it's like, that's the moneymaker right there. They got 3 rides, 3 pretty good, decent rides. They got the fucking castle. They got the cobblestones. They got the people dressing like wizards and shit. It's like, this is golden. This is great. We need more of that. And I'm not like some like theme park, enthusiast, but it's like Universal, in my opinion, needs a little bit of an upgrade. Maybe because they haven't had that many hit movies that they could base rides off of. They just got Mario. I mean, their next movie that Universal has coming out is Oppenheimer. And I don't see Universal Studios Hollywood in Los Angeles making a Oppenheimer ride. Oh, let's watch Mr. Oppenheimer create the nuclear bomb, and we'll go on a ride. I don't see that happening. I don't see that, taking off. I mean, if you think about it, the big franchises that Universal has, like Fast X, that is, not really a ride, which is weird. Why would they not make that a ride? Minions, there's no Minions ride. There's no Shrek ride, no Kung Fu Panda ride. So, I mean, I would say that, Universal kind of is like just being a little lazy in terms of like adapting their properties into theme park rides. Disneyland has no problem with that. They made an entire Star Wars land from, just an idea, right? They created essentially a planet that's in the lore and in the canon that you can go to at Disneyland called Batuu, I think. I think it's called Batuu. And come on, Universal, just pick up the pace, man. You're lagging. I want you to succeed because you are a nice park. You are a lot of fun, but you need to update your shit. It gets a little stale after a while. I've been to Universal maybe 3 or 4 times, and it's just kind of the same every time. Maybe it's because I've been there so many times. I'm like, I've been there, done that, and it's just I just past my time. I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Talking a little bit about sports right now. Some soccer news, which I don't really talk about, but this is very interesting news. Lionel Messi has decided to join Inter Miami of MLS here in America and turned down Barcelona, turned down a massive contract from the teams in Saudi Arabia that were going to pay him $1.2 billion for 2 years to play in Saudi Arabia, to come to Miami and play in the MLS. Does that shock anybody? That shocks me 100%. Now, I for sure thought that this guy was going to go to Saudi Arabia because we had, other people, other big-time players like Cristiano Ronaldo, and recently Karim Benzema, who signed with, I believe, like a 3-year deal. This is Karim Benzema's deal. It was like 3 years for $643 million. For 3 years to play in Saudi Arabia. I mean, that is incredible. Crazy amounts of money that the Saudis are able to pay these players to make their league just like, come play. We will pay you. Just come play soccer. I mean, kind of like almost like live golf. I mean, I probably won't talk about Live Golf, but Live Golf, paid so many of these professional golfers to leave the PGA to play in Live, with albeit less matches to play, less golf competitions to play. You get to wear shorts and you'll be paid handsomely, by the Saudis who have funded Live Golf. And now that merger's happening, they're all going to be one, which is crazy as well. But that's just what we're kind of, putting it into perspective. The Saudis have this type of money to pay these players boatloads, Titanic-size, aircraft carrier-size boatloads of money to these players just to come for a couple years. And these guys are not in their primes, by the way. Ronaldo is like 38. Benzema is like the same age. I think Messi's like about to be 36. Like, these guys are not very young anymore. They're way past their prime, but you know what? If they'll get them, if they can get them for like another 2 years to bring some buzz to their soccer league, I mean, they're going to give them as much money as they wanted to, or they can. And the fact that Messi turned down $1.2 billion for 2 years to play in Inter Miami with David Beckham's team, and also have like ownership of the team as well, and being paid by Apple and Adidas to kind of like, make it so like he's not getting super scammed and not going to Saudi Arabia, is pretty crazy. I mean, if you think about it, he was either going to get like $1.2 billion just to go play in Saudi Arabia, or have, MLS, Adidas, and Apple all help him out and be like, we probably won't be able to pay you as much by ourselves, but hey, we got Adidas and Apple that are going to chip in to help, so we can get you to play in MLS. Because if you don't know, Apple TV Plus is like the exclusive streaming service to watch MLS matches. So it's like, we got to pay for this guy because he's going to be bringing people to, for viewership to the games. This is a big opportunity. We got to cash out. We got to pay this guy handsomely, at least, close to what he was going to be getting paid by the Saudis. Like, I mean, it's crazy. I couldn't believe that it happened too, because I for sure thought that, the Saudis got him because, they got Ronaldo, they got Benzema. I was like, they got this guy. It's over. It's a wrap. $1.2 billion? Are you kidding me? Why would anyone say no to that? But, I think Messi and his wife were like, nah, we want to live in Miami. We got we rent a house in Miami, and we want to have our kids in Miami. And they're just like, you know what? Let's go to Miami. The lifestyle is probably a lot better than Saudi Arabia. I get that. I see that appeal. I would just be like, man, it would be so tough for somebody to turn down $1.2 billion with no income taxes in Saudi Arabia. So all that money is like pretty much yours. It's like, dang. The fact that the ball's in this guy, man. That he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go to Miami. Let's have fun. I'm pretty sure the lifestyle's like, probably drawing them in too. I mean, like, that. Good for him, Good for him. He made a good decision, I think. Why? Because I like soccer. I'm a fan of soccer. I like Messi. He's the best. And now he's going to be in MLS, which is going to bring even more eyes to soccer, even more eyes both nationally and internationally to the MLS. Maybe people want to come play here. Maybe the league will get a boost. Maybe the league will get like a gigantic like uplift from like just him being in the league. I mean, when David Beckham came over, it was a big surge as well when he went to the Galaxy. So maybe this is like the second coming of that, if not even bigger than David Beckham. I mean, David Beckham was huge, but Messi, holy shit. Like, people think that Messi's the greatest to ever play. And if he's going to be playing, in South Beach, in Miami, it's like, oh, man. I mean, what a dream scenario for the MLS and just the Miami in general, Florida in general. Like, they're going to get so much buzz, all around Miami because Messi's there. I think it's a big one, I'll be honest. And I listen, I'm not a Miami fan. I'm not an Inter Miami fan. But it's like, you look at this and you're like, yeah, the MLS needed to do this. They needed to be serious about their league. If they're going to be serious, because they've been dumping money into this league for many, many years, expanding the league to even more teams and TV deals and all that and streaming deals and all that, they were going to need something really to be like, you know what, we're banking on this. We need to hit something to really get the eyes on the league, get the eyes on the MLS, and really compete for the viewership, because at the moment MLS season is going on, you have basketball, you got baseball, you got hockey. NFL's not going on right now, so you really got to capitalize. If you're the MLS, you have to pry. As much as I love other sports, they have to pry eyes from other sports in order to have even more success than they already do have. Like, they got to win viewership from baseball fans, hockey fans, basketball fans in order for this league to survive. And I think that if you add Messi, it gives you ammunition, not just for like the generations that are, like me and you, but like the younger kids that want to, maybe watch soccer over baseball. That's a possibility. That could be something that happens in this country. We're just not really aware of it yet. It's probably just a very has a very big, a very low profile, and we just don't really know about it yet. So I'm happy that Messi chose Inter Miami over Saudi Arabia or Barcelona. I mean, Barcelona, it would have been nice because he was like a god there. He was there like when he was like 18 or 19 or whatever. And he just like was the face of that club for like over a decade. Him and Ronaldo at Real Madrid was like one of the best things that had ever happened in professional sports, is have those guys on opposing teams and like rivals of that league. It was crazy. So it's like, it would have been better if Ronaldo came to MLS as well. That way we could get like, showdowns between Messi and Ronaldo. But obviously Ronaldo took the money, which I don't blame him. They were going to pay him handsomely. If I was Messi, I would probably do the same thing. But Messi's a better person than me, and he chose the MLS. So congrats on you, Leo Messi. You made the right choice, in my opinion. Oh, one more thing on soccer, though, but not actually the sport. Last week, Ted Lasso aired its final episode of Season 3, possibly the series. And I gotta be honest, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. You guys know I've been talking about Ted Lasso for quite some time. It's one of my favorite shows that has been coming out these past 3 or 4 years that it's been coming out. I mean, I know it's not like a super in depth, not a super complex or super intricate series. It's not like the actors are not like giving like career defining performances. It's not like it's a super big budgeted series. It's not like a super dramatic series like other shows out there, like that has excellent writing and just like great world building and good plot points and good filler and all that stuff. But it's a show that I think that has allowed people that watch it fall in love with the simplicity of being a nice person and being a person that has heart and someone who cares about themselves and the people around them and what they do. And in my opinion, Ted Lasso has been one of my favorite shows in the past 4 years, because every time a new episode comes out, I pretty much have to watch it within like that day. Within that day, I have to watch it because I want to know what happens with Ted and Beard and Roy and all that and all the characters that are involved. But like just like the show never really fails to put a smile on my face. Even some of the sadder episodes that are sad, that can be pretty emotional, and that move you sometimes close to tears, I'll be honest. Their ending is always like, there's always a nice message in every episode of Ted Lasso that you could find and, you find in your own self-being, in your day-to-day life, and kind of like aim to strive to be like, have that kind of perspective and outlook on your life. It's really one of the rare shows that no one has to be killed off. Nobody has to die. Nobody has to lose. Nobody really has to suffer, really. It just knows what it's about, and it does it so well that you're just happy that there's no other show like it because this one does it the best. And maybe it's because it's like the first of its kind that really delve into like this type of show, like, you know, that just has an outburst and like a over positive perspective on somebody's life that just kind of makes you feel like, wow, like, it ain't all bad. Sometimes you got bad days, but like someone like Ted Lasso, you see them just kind of like, no, I wouldn't say like fight it, but like just kind of go with the flow. Good things will happen. Of course, his quips and his metaphors and Ted Lasso's like ideologies and his outlook is just like such a delight to watch, and how much he just makes everybody happy. Even the people, the people in the show, the characters, but even like people like who watch the show and like who love the show, like me and my dad watch it. And it's like, we talk about, it's like, dude, the show just makes me happy. And it's like, he agrees. It's like, yeah, it's a happy show that I just enjoy watching, the characters and everything. And even though they go through struggles and stuff like that, it never really ends on a sad note. And that's always been like the one thing that I've been able to pick throughout the series is like consistency is pretty much always there. There's like maybe a couple episodes, maybe max, that kind of diverge into do other things that like you don't really care about. But when it goes back to the core of what it is about, this American optimistic coach that has no idea about soccer and is able to inspire these guys to not only perform well, but get behind him and support him. And they become like a family. And they succeed, they fail, they go through all the motions, yet they're all still there with each other, through thick and thin. They really are like a family. And it's like, dang, man. Like, I played sports when I was a kid. And I don't remember, we were never like that, like a family. Like maybe 1 year we were kind of like really close as a team. Like, I wouldn't say like as close as they are in Ted Lasso, but like pretty damn close, where we all just had a lot of fun playing together. The coach was sick, the players were cool, and we just all had fun. But it wasn't even close to like how Ted Lasso was. Like, Ted Lasso was like, yo, I mean, I'm going to give you all a book and you all read it because I picked this book because of your personality and then, like, it best defines you. And it's like, dang, this guy's a genius. A genius with like people. Like a actual like a genius when it comes to like dissecting people and getting to know people and being like, you know what? We might not come off as friends yet, but by the end of the day, you'll be my best friend. And it's like, damn. Some people don't always want that. Some people don't like all the positivity. They don't like all the optimism. But I'm a person that enjoys that and enjoys watching that. I wouldn't say that the show is for everybody, though. If you're not a super optimistic and happy person, you might find this show very, very annoying. Very, like, corny. Very, not stereotypical, but just, like, too happy. A little too predictable. Maybe just like not for you, and that's okay. But if you're like into optimism, into positivity, I think that Ted Lasso is going to be like the show for you, because it really just kind of brings out the goodness in like your heart, and like you just feel all warm and toasty inside because everybody in the show loves each other, and it's just like, wow. I mean, like, this didn't have to be as good as it was. When I first saw the first episode, I'm like, what's this going to be about? This is a very interesting premise. I remember the old NBC Sports commercials with Jason Sudeikis playing Ted Lasso, like a American football coach going to go coach soccer in England. Very, very funny perspective. And could this work? Could this actually have legs to be an actual TV show? And the answer is yes. It really does. And every season they introduce more and more characters. And even in season 3, this final season, they introduced the most they've ever really introduced and really dive deep into. And I can't point to really any episode in this season that you would consider filler, because it all kind of ties into their goal, their motto, and like how this whole like team that Ted Lasso has is just like a bunch of, it kind of seems like they're a bunch of oddballs that play soccer together, but really they're just people with, different personalities and different, ways of thinking. And just like, we're all together, and, we might have our differences, but, we love each other, and we love what we do. And we're going to come together, to back each other up and to support each other. And because we love each other. And through this, through playing soccer, through being on that team, we support and love each other. And that's kind of what it's all about. The show itself, after completing the season 3, it's all really about love, forgiveness. It's a great show. It's fantastic. So if I were to give it a final review, Ted Lasso season 3 out of 10, probably like a 9.3. Like, there's not really any like filler I thought that was in this episode that really consists as like, to me, bad filler. Like, there can be good filler, which I think there is in this season, but it's not bad. It's not like, it doesn't take me out of like what's happening in the show. It just kind of enhances everything. It enhances everybody's character, enhances everybody's, how their outlook on the situations, and enhances everybody's, relationships. It just enhances everything, I think. So at the end of the day, dude, I mean, it's fantastic. I love Ted Lasso. I'm sad that it's gone. Moving on, though. We actually have some big news here. Big news. And it's UFO news. Alien news. This actually came out a couple days ago. And you might be saying, like, why does this guy talk about aliens so much? First of all, I'm pretty sure I haven't talked about aliens in a while. Like, UFO, aliens have not really been a topic of discussion on this show in quite some time. So I don't know if people are complaining. I don't really know why. But let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. So if you don't know what's happening, I don't really blame you. But this could be potentially big news that could change the course of humanity as itself. Humanity itself could change quite a bit if all what I'm about to say is true. So, the U.S., and you can find this at the debrief.org, thedebrief.org. A former intelligence officer turned whistleblower has given Congress and the intelligence community Inspector General extensive classified information about deeply coverted programs that says possesses retrieved intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. The information, he says, has been illegally withheld from Congress, and he filed a complaint alleging that he suffered illegal retaliation from his confidential disclosures, reported here for the first time. Other intelligence officials, both active and retired, with knowledge of these programs through their works in various agencies, have independently provided similar corroborating information both on and off the record. The whistleblower David Charles Grush, 36, a decorated former combat officer in Afghanistan, is a veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA, and the National Reconnaissance Office, NRO. He served as a reconnaissance office's representative in the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force from 2019 to 2021, from the late 2021 to July 2022. He was the NGA's co-lead for UAP analysis and its representative to the task force. So there's a little bit of a backstory on this guy. So he has been a part of the UFO task force that has been, from the government. Obviously, that news was brought to us like maybe a few years ago that there was such a agency that has been looking at UFOs and studying these unidentified flying objects, and that people were seeing these things, fighter jet pilots, commercial pilots, people in general were just seeing things in the sky that didn't really make any sense. And, it's gotten to the point, I think, this is a little I think probably more accepted now, speaking about this now than maybe about 30 years ago, where if you brought this up, you'd be considered like a crazy person. But there can't be that many people that see things, and you can all categorize them as whack jobs, as crazy people. It just doesn't seem very scientific to just say oh, you're insane. Oh, you're crazy. You don't know. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're a whack job. You're a lunatic. Really? All these people that, that are pilots, that are, experts, and they're I fly jets every day. I know how aircraft and air travel is done because I have to do it every single day. I fly a jet. And if I'm seeing something that doesn't move like a jet or a plane, doesn't act like a jet or a plane, and it doesn't obey the laws of physics like a jet or a plane, or any type of aircraft that we have conventionally, then we got ourselves a problem here. Because if it ain't us, if it ain't our enemies, then who is it? That's a good question that I think that we have to answer, and we have to, bring forward to this conversation. If all these people that are considered to be, experts at their craft, like a fighter jet pilot is an expert at navigating the skies and how to fly a jet that costs millions and millions of dollars properly and not total it, not crash it, So we have to take into consideration that, maybe all these people that claim that they see things that are abnormal or unordinary, this might be, something that we need to look into. But back to this guy, right? So if I'm going to continue with this article where I left off, and I won't go for too long because I don't just want to read the article. If you want to, find it, it's on the debrief.org. The task force was established to investigate what were once called unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, are now officially called unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Anomalous phenomenon. So they changed it. It used to be unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now it's called unidentified anomalous. ANOMALOUS. Anomalous? Anomalous. You know what? I'm just going to look that up real quick because I have no idea what that word means. I thought that said anonymous. That is not what that says. What does this word mean? Because I am intrigued. No idea what that means at all. First time I've seen that word. Anomalous. Deviating from what is standard, normal, or expected. Interesting. Irregular, unusual. What does that mean? Maybe it means that they're doing something that we can't even understand now. There are reports that have people have talked about that these things possibly can go underwater and through the air. Maybe that's what it means. That could be a possibility. But anyway, this guy, David Grush, putting his entire career in jeopardy by coming out and saying this. Just the headline itself, right? Intelligence official says U.S. has retrieved craft of non-human origin. That to me is crazy. That to me is insane. Because if somebody is claiming this, that we have spacecraft, right? We have ships, saucers, potentially, multiple types of saucers, maybe multiple types of spacecraft in general that has non-human origin. That's insane. First of all, I think it said the article said like perfectly intact and then partially intact. So perfectly intact means that they probably landed and we just took their shit. I mean, I don't know how else would it be perfectly have that? Do we just find it and no one's there? No one's at the controls and we just take it? Or what, right? So I'm thinking that we just kind of take it. Like it lands maybe. Maybe we kidnap the pilots. Maybe we kidnap the aliens that are on board. And we just take the ship. Partially intact is, like, did it crash? Did we shoot it down? How did it become partially intact? Did we tear it apart? Did we try to back engineer it? What happened essentially? It's crazy to think about that probably is, something that this all could be true. Now, of course, this person has claimed that he's heard from other people, that he hasn't seen it. He has not seen anything official, but he has been talking with people who have been in the same program, who know more than he does, that they have seen the crafts and that they have seen the pilots. Which, I mean, whoa. It's a lot to think about. It's a little crazy if you really think about it. Like, how could someone, well, I guess, it makes sense because like I read, I mean, like this information that's being withheld, there's being rules and laws that are being in place now that were not there before, that Congress and the government kind of have to start telling the public of what's happening, out there in the world. Like, what is really happening? Now, I don't want to go into full-on political stuff on this show. It's not what it's about. But Jesus Christ, man, if it has aliens, we need to pass whatever bill that is being proposed to get these fuckers to tell us where the aliens are. And if we have any, are we in contact with them? Are we working together with them? Like, what is happening? If Joe Biden is going to be president for the next term, we need to get a bill that says that he has to tell us where and what the aliens want with this planet. Why are they here? What do they want with us? Are we in danger? Should we be fearful for our lives? And obviously, I mean, if we were able to shoot these fuckers down, maybe, just maybe, they're not as invincible as we think. And we only think that because we fucking watch movies and we're just fucking, obviously they'd be 10 million times better at what we are and they could destroy us. But we don't know. What if they just have like crazy waste of transportation and they don't really have that much weapon technology? What if they have like incredible ways to traverse galaxies and universes, but they don't have the concept of how a weapon works or how a gun works or how warfare is played? What if they're not really good at strategizing how to beat opponents at war? And we're just like, we have the technology to beat them, but they just have a way to, get around us and we can't see them because of their ability to transportation. Obviously, if they use a flying saucer and let's say it doesn't have any, visible form of propulsion, obviously we can't do that. So therefore they beat us in that realm. But, who's to say that they're actual, that technology bleeds into like warfare technology, like weapons and all that? What if they have nothing to defend themselves, if they don't have their way of transportation and that's just their only way to defend themselves, is just is just avoiding us? Maybe we aren't as far away from them as we all think. I'm just saying, I mean, like, if it's partially intact, that probably means that we did shoot it down. Let's just say that we did shoot a saucer down. We recovered it, recovered the pilots. Let's just say they're dead now. Like they didn't make it, or they died of old age, whatever. Who knows, right? We have to be like, okay, I mean, like, these beings are not from our planet. They're not from Earth. They're not human. We don't know where they're from. They have this wicked way of propulsion. Let's say they have like some kind of like warp gravity drive where they can just warp gravity around the saucer and just like move at will, whatever direction they want to, and just kind of fly and zip around however they want to, right? Let's just say that they have that. But we just shot this fucker down. And the guys inside aren't very strong. I mean, they died on impact, just like we would, but they just have this incredible way of transportation, which is obviously way further than we are. Way further ahead than we are. So it's like, how do we create this? If this is all true, and what this guy is saying is correct, and if we go all the way back to Roswell, if you look at Roswell, New Mexico, that fucking article that came out, when it actually happened, it said, saucer retrieved from a crash. That was like the headline of the Roswell, New Mexico news. The following day, they changed it to weather balloon. So this has probably been going around for a long, long time, and has made a lot of people out there who have seen things like absolute idiots for no reason, just because the government doesn't want you to know, and absolutely destroying other people's lives and making them look like idiots and losers and freaks and whack jobs. Well, now information is coming out. Seems like it's going to be coming out even more and more. This is like another big step, I think. First, it was the release of the task force, of knowing that there is such a thing as a task force for UFOs, and then the fact that those videos of the objects that go super fast and we don't know what they are, and the fighter jet pilots don't even know what they are, and then up until the point that the government doesn't know what they are. They have no idea. They can't confirm that it's us or an enemy. They have no idea. And now with this report saying that, these objects that we have, that we're confirming that we do have, is non-human origin. So that to me is that's it. That's got to be the nail in the coffin. That now you just got to show us. Now you just have to show us what they are, what they can do, and if we have any existing pilots, we have to see them as well. And we have to know what they're all about. Will they? They should. But it will destroy everything that we've known, that we thought that we knew. Everything that we've known, what we've been taught, is probably going to be shattered if they tell us. But you know what? The only reason that it's like this is because they kept it a secret and kept it like so taboo and so niche and so freaky for decades, that this is like, I mean, it's kind of like how we think of it now, is like it's impossible. Like it could never happen, because they decided to hide it from us. And if they say like, we'll just show it, then it'll fucking destroy our minds. But it's only a matter of time. It truly is only a matter of time before they have to tell us what is actually happening. I mean, not to get political again, but didn't they release some stuff about the JFK assassination or something like that, about the CIA, because of these new laws and new bills that they have to be truthful with their, addressing the public on certain situations and not lying and making us think a certain way. It's crazy when you have that kind of power, right? Crazy. You have the power to blindside an entire population and not tell them anything about a certain thing, even though some people will tell you this or that and say, well, he saw this. Well, I heard that he saw this, and she saw that as well from this angle. And you get people stirring and talking and being like, you know what? They haven't said anything. The news doesn't say anything. The reporters don't say anything. They say it's this or it's that. And we don't know. We don't really know. Well, maybe these new rules, these new laws, these new bills will hopefully get us to the realm where the unknown is no longer the unknown. that we know everything, that we will be fed the knowledge that we deserve, because the public deserves to know the truth about these UFOs, if they are real or not. Sure, it will rattle a lot of people, maybe cause a mass hysteria, but there also we might be able to avoid it, because there's a lot of people that don't give a fucking shit about UFOs. Don't give a shit about UFOs, aliens, and think it's all hokey pokey, mumbo jumbo type shit. That even if we've had people come out and say, like, yeah, they're real, we've had this story come out, and still, did the general public really care? No, they didn't give a fuck. So I think we're at the point where people won't give a fuck unless you show them a fucking alien. You say, here is Bob. We've had him for about 20 years. He crashed here 20 years ago. He says he's from this planet, just chilling out. We've been in contact with his kind on this planet, and he says this and this about our planet, and that's it. Imagine that actually happening on a news broadcast, that we have Bob here from another planet, and he says this and this. He likes our planet, thinks it's pretty cool, and he says take care of it. And could you imagine the hysteria from the people who see that? They see Bob right there, like, what? What does he know? Is Jesus real? Is this real? Is that who built the pyramids? Like, it will actually all come crashing down on us. So I guess there is a reason for why they keep it secret and they keep it safe. But at the same time, man, I want to know. I want to know for sure. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching this, listening to this podcast and watching this podcast. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. This podcast drops every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week.